So I am reconnecting with my old friend Dorothy. When I saw you check into the Zoom, literally, if I could have jumped through the screen, grabbed you, given you this great giant bear hug, and you're super tall and I'm super small, so I would have probably like wrapped my legs around you, like, girl
Oh,
crush, it's Dorothy, and I've missed you so much. So it is so good to see you.
it's so
Ah,
good to see you.
oh my gosh. And you look amazing and just so rocking and new.
Thanks. I'm wearing new merch.
I love
So
it. I was looking at your merch last night too, because I was like on the website and I was like, oh, look at it. You've got some like really cute tanks and everything.
we wanted to try a new vibe. I wanted to make it a little edgier, and it's laundry day, so I have a couple samples laying around the house. I'm like, I'm gonna wear my shirt.
I love, 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 love it. It is great. Now let's talk, of course, gifts from the Holy Ghost
Woo!
coming out. Do we have any idea? Will we get it? I'm just going to ask you like a very broad question. By the end of 2021 or early 2022, do you know yet?
You're definitely getting the album.
Okay. All right. All right.
And actually, I know it's been a minute since I put music out. So what I want to do, what I would love to do is we have What's Coming to Me as a single out right now. I think it's going to start hitting the radio more and more, which initially wasn't actually the plan. It was supposed to be like Down to the Bottom, just taking us into Gifts from the Holy Ghost, right? Like Down to the Bottom took us from Rock is Dead into 28 Days. So, but it just got a good reception, and now you're playing it and radio people are asking for it, so it might become a radio single before the radio single, which will be coming out soon. So we're working on that, and what I'd like to do for the fans is get them a 3-song EP leading up into the album. And I know maybe it might be a little more complicated to make a vinyl. There's definitely going to be a vinyl of the record of Gifts from the Holy Ghost, but I would like to find a fun way to give you guys an EP with like 3 songs, leading up into this record, that you can get when we're on tour with Rival Sons this fall, which is crazy. I can't believe it's happening.
Yay, yay. Yeah, and we have a date, by the way, on October 18th at Webster Hall in New York City. So we are super, super excited. Well, when I first heard the song and saw the video, sometimes, there's a song and then there's a video. And then there's sort of a video, where they just blend so well. And here's the 2 things I love. I don't know what I love more though. Dorothy with her demons or Dorothy exercising the demons. Like they're both so incredibly compelling and I love them both. And the video, I was so incredibly sucked in, and you guys worked with a lady by the name of Linda Strawberry. So first of all, you're not an artist that if you don't vibe with someone, like that person is not going to work with you. Like I've known you for a couple of years now and I know how you are, and you're an artist. You're somebody who's an artist. So tell me a little bit about who came up with the concept for that video. How did you get it to fit the song so well? Did you guys work on it together? And a whole new kind of look for you too from the last record.
Yeah, and the look I feel like the look is exclusive to that video. Maybe we'll see, because we had so much fun. I just wanted to be theatrical. Linda Strawberry did the editing on the Who Do You Love music video, and I loved it so much. And she's worked with the Smashing Pumpkins, and she's her and I have so much in common. I really truly feel like she's my sister, like from another mister. So you're right. I absolutely have learned that about myself, that I don't, if I don't gel with someone, it's probably not going to happen, because art is so intimate, and getting creative, you're being vulnerable with somebody. And her and I had a very long heart to heart on the phone before we even ended up in the studio filming this video together about our pasts and about stuff. So I just felt this kindred spirit with her. And honestly, I use Pinterest. I'm a visual person. I want to see it. And so I created a Pinterest board of this swampland with a blood moon and a baptism happening in the water, and just like the intro to True Blood. I wanted it to be haunting and creepy because you can hear that in the music, but I wanted the message to be a visual metaphor for exercising your demons. But that could be anything. That could be depression, that could be feeling suicidal, that could be drug and alcohol abuse, that could be Anything that anyone across the globe is struggling with, whatever those demons are, that was the visual metaphor for overcoming them and being restored to sanity, being restored to who you are at the end, and having a come to Jesus moment. Um, literally and figuratively. It's like the viewer can make it what they want. That's just the
Yes.
story I wanted to
Yes.
tell. And some of the comments crack me up, like, "Oh, this is satanic," and I'm just like, "Oh, if only you knew." It's quite the opposite. But to me, I wanted it to be dark and edgy, but have a spiritual message. I think the blending of that is so cool. It can be dark and edgy and badass, and still be a source of hope and light and inspiration.
It's empowering. I mean, just and just the lyrics. A storm's brewing, babe. I ain't got time to sit and pray because this life don't come free. I got what's coming to me. This is all about being empowered, and to be empowered, you kind of have to leave. You kind of have to recognize what sucks, leave it behind, and move forward. So I think that's funny that you got satanic comments, because I was following you with this evolution sort of the look too, and I was like, wow, when we get something from Dorothy, this is going to be really, really interesting. And I wanted to talk also about, because I found in listening to your music, the records for me as a fan of yours are kind of conceptual, because I look at them as a journey. I take the journey. I did it on Rock is Dead. I certainly did it on 28 Days. And I feel like I sort of start with one song, which takes me to the story of the next song and the next song and the next song. So I'm imagining that this record, which probably I think is going to be your most powerful. Like, I just have that feeling it's going to be your most powerful because I see you, you know.
Thanks.
So is this going to be a conceptual type of deal?
Yeah, so I feel like with each album, this is my personal experience, that with each album I have grown and discovered more of who I am as an artist. And I do like that. It does seem very conceptual. I'm one of those people that I want to change things up or I will get bored. But in doing that, I've learned to be really true to who I am and what am I trying to say in my heart. Like, I'm just one perspective. I'm a spirit in a body having a human experience. I'm one perspective. What can I do that's going to like help people, inspire people, and still be true to who I am? And so each album has been very different. I would say Gifts from the Holy Ghost is closer to Rock is Dead than it is to 28 Days in the Valley, because I was willing to take a risk on 28 Days in the Valley and totally change up the sound. And in doing that, I learned I really like hard rock. I really like to be aggressive. It's really hard for me to tone it down. That's just who I am as a person. And so my journey embarking on creating Gifts from the Holy Ghost was calling all my friends, Keith Wallen, Jason Hook, Greg Collins, Joel Hamilton, Chris Lord-Alge, Trevor Lukather. There's been so many great co-writes on this album. And Audra May, I have to give her a huge shout out. Typically, I co-write everything, and my record label played What's Coming to Me, and I had chills. She's in Nashville. She's an incredible songwriter, incredible singer. She actually wrote What's Coming to Me. And I connected with the song and I resonated it and I reinterpreted it my way with my voice. And then I was like, let's do an incredible, insane video for this to bring it all together. So she also wrote a ballad on the album called Close to Me Always, which I bawled my eyes out. So I hope you will too. But otherwise, this album was, I'm going to do it my way. I'm not going to let anyone tell me what to do or what they think I should be or what they think I should wear or what they think I should sound like. Not saying anything about anything in the past. It's just that I felt very firmly that this is mine. This is my baby. This is going to be a breakthrough moment. It's going to be really powerful. And I say this in complete humility. I really do think this is a career album. I'm so proud of it. It's some of the best work I've done.
And I think on a third record, you need that. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been a very brave artist too. Rock is Dead was who Dorothy was. And I remember when you came to the studio for the first time I saw you was at Webster Hall in New York City. And I thought, my God, this girl is just a rock star, a rock freaking
Right.
star. And then you came to the studio and you were a rock star then. And then 28 Days came out, and it was such a brave venture because you got more into the organic songwriting, stripped down, and you said, yeah, I made a lighter record. I felt lighter and I made a lighter record. I mean, I think that's the real sign of a true artist. Not and being brave enough to take those chances. I don't think that
Yeah,
fans always want three Rock is Deads in a row, so that's a
that's
hard thing to do, to be brave like that. So where do you get the balls to say, you
I
know
don't
what,
know.
I'm doing it my way, guys. Sorry, mother truckers, this is the way it's going.
I promise you I don't have balls, but no, I think taking risks is important. And I feel like I've been so timid, like timid and sensitive and emotional my whole life that I'm like, this girl needs an outlet. Like I needed a superhero, I needed a badass. So that the medium of music and being on stage gives me the excuse. It makes it okay to act out and become this other thing. Like Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, like it's a
Right,
true thing. This other
right.
person comes out, and she's what I needed. She's what I needed to overcome fear, to overcome all this shit that we're all dealing with, right?
Yep.
So I don't know. I agree with you. Why do three rock is deads when you can take a leap of faith and change it up each time and have it be exciting. Some people are not going to like it, but I don't exist to please them. I'm doing music because it's my dream, but um, it's just also such an honor. And honestly, if the record and the music inspires someone, or like inspires them to get sober, or like overcome their demons, or just reach for something more in life, I've done my job. Thank you, and thank you for being part of the journey. But I don't think we need to make the same record over and over again. And I promise you it's going to keep evolving, but now I think I've figured out the formula of how to be the most true to myself and really come from the heart. And if it's not like spirit filled, I don't want it.
Well, you know what, too? I find, and I don't even want to make it gender because I think if you rock, you rock, and if you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
But I've done about 120 of these webisodes with all different genres. I mean, I've had everybody from Nancy Wilson to, guitar player Waddy Wachtel to Brent from Shinedown, like every sort of, artist. But I find with a lot of the ladies that I talk to, and especially somebody like you, people recognize your great talent, but then people always want to change you. I know what's best for you. I know what's best for you, Nancy Wilson, because I think you should be an MTV star. I know what's best for you, Taylor Momsen. I think you should look this way. I know what's best for you. I just talked to Lilith Czar, who was
Yeah.
on last week with me. And, she had said, my gosh, my whole life I've fought to figure out what kind of an artist I am. Amy Lee, who was telling me, in the early days, and we have to have a guy on your record or nobody will play it. So I always find with the women, it's a little bit harder to be vocal because you don't want to not be grateful, because you are grateful that you have a record deal and people interested in your career. So you don't want to be perceived as being difficult. But, sometimes it's harder to be like, no, this is not who I am. And I want to make the music that I feel I have to make.
Yeah. That's definitely been my experience. I've had, there's one thing I won't stand for anymore is too many cooks in the kitchen. It's made me more aggressive and more assertive and put my foot down. You can't afford to be too nice and worry about hurting other people's feelings, but like at the same time have respect for everybody and just be honest. I'm a I'm really bad at like how you say it. Like I'm one of those people, like I'm trying to tell you something, and
Right, right.
how I'm saying it is definitely shooting myself in the foot because I get I'm an emotional communicator. And
I
but
think a lot of people can relate to that, though. I think a lot of people that are watching that now have been in that position too, where you're just like, "Oh, did I just say too much? I hope I didn't." But
yeah,
you feel like that.
you've had enough. Like sometimes you've just had enough. Like
Yeah.
I've had a plethora of awful experiences in the music industry. I mean, I don't know how like into it and how honest I want to get, but like, I mean, I've been assaulted by producers. I've been bullied. I've by members of my own team. Like I've been, it's, listen, you run into assholes everywhere, but like at some point as an artist, you have had enough. And I was like, oh wait, what's the band name again? Oh, that's right. It's my name, not yours. So I'm going to make the record. But it was honestly a really fun process. I think it was great that despite the challenges of 2020, 2021, you know, I flew to Brooklyn and I lived there for a month and worked
You
with
did? I didn't even know that. Wow.
I recorded the bulk of the record at Studio G in Brooklyn, and
Wow.
Elliot Larengo did the bass. Sam Colton did some guitars. Zach did the drums. He's Joel's friend. He plays. I think he plays drums for Sting. So like no big deal. Like he was awesome. It was cool. It was cool. I got to eat a lot of good food. Brooklyn was awesome. It was beautiful. It was weird. It was in the middle of a pandemic, and I just went outside and walked around as much as I could and ran by the river and kept myself healthy and got fresh air, and then I would record, and then I'd go out to eat with the guys, and it was awesome. And then Chris Lord-Alge was heavily involved, and
Wow.
but the year leading up to that, I had been writing with Keith Wallen regularly, and then like I drove to Vegas and wrote with Jason Hook, and then at the end of the record, oh, Scott Stevens. Why am I not mentioning like my dude? He is a brilliant songwriter. Him and the Four Horsemen got involved at the very last minute, at the very end.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, these are the radio singles. They're insane. I'm just
Yay.
like, I was like, okay, this is completely out of my hands. I'm going to trust the process. I'm just going to go with my gut and my heart. I'm going to follow my heart. What feels right to me? What feels what feels spirit filled? When do I leap on the inside and get excited? Like, not like trying to talk myself into, okay, that lyric's good, or, oh yeah, that song's good enough. No, no, no. It was back to back. I really thoroughly enjoy this record, and I'm not trying to just toot my own horn. I'm just very, very excited about it and very proud of it.
I'm
Uh,
so excited. Oh my God, I'm so excited to get it. So I mentioned on the air that you were going to be on Reconnect with Rockers, and I had all these people hit me up. WDHA listeners love you. We
oh,
talked a little before the Zoom. You have to know this sort of East Coast, tri-state area, New Jersey / New York love, because you have so connected with our listeners that they just love you. So a couple of people asked me a couple of questions. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, but I figured let me grab two. I said, yeah, I will credit you. We'll do three. Okay. So somebody did ask the inspiration for the new single and the creation of the video, which I think we covered a little bit, but Joe asked me about that. And, obviously I love you mentioned the swampy kind of feel to it. And I think that whole swampy, sexy vibe is exactly what just so fits you so well.
yeah, and Danny Garibay, Fernando Garibay's brother, produced that song. And when I heard it, I instantly thought of, this feels like True Blood, and it feels like we're going to have a baptism in Louisiana. And it just felt, I love the South. I love Southern Gothic anything. I really wanted to shoot it down there. I wanted to go to New Orleans or Savannah or Charleston. Those are some of my favorite cities. Shout out to Vonnie. And we couldn't do it. So we had to create the energy and the vibe in a studio. And
And
we
the
had,
exorcism. I love the
yeah,
exorcism. Oh my God. I was so into the exorcism because I'm like such a, gothy horror person. I was like, oh my God, look at her go. Like the exorcism was just, was fantastic.
from beginning to end, Linda Strawberry she made it so fabulous. The team was great. I think my favorite moment was the red outfit. I
Oh
just
yeah.
felt like when I was performing with the fog and the lightning, I just felt like, what episode of Game of Thrones are we in? Like I just felt larger than life, and that's the fun part of being an artist, is getting to just try things and be theatrical. I don't know why I really enjoy acting in a certain way. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not trained,
Well,
but
you're very visual. You're a very, very visual performer, not just a visual artist, but a visual performer. When people see you in concert there, and I think that's part of the connection too, whether it's a tiny, look, I saw you, it was actually, I think 2 years ago that we were at PNC together and you were in the big arena and you held up the DHA banner because somebody reminded me today, 2 years ago, Dorothy was at PNC. And I said, oh my gosh, isn't that funny? And I'm talking to her 2 years later. Or in a tiny room like we did in the Raven room, you are a visual connector. You connect with people one-on-one. All right, so Melanie had a great question too. She's a singer, aspiring artist, and she said, have you ever suffered from stage fright? She said, I have intermittent stage fright, where sometimes I'm super brave on stage, and then other times I am petrified to walk behind the microphone. Can you ask Dorothy that? And I thought that was a very viable question.
Yeah, of course. Yes. But you have the opportunity to change your perspective and just say, I'm very, very excited. And you have those butterflies. I used to drink a lot to get through my stage fright or anxiety. And going out there sober is 1,000 times better, especially when you hit your stride, you connect with people, and the audience has a big impact on the art, like how I feel. But you can't go off of that necessarily, because someone might have resting bitch face and it just causes you to crumble inside. But really, they're just concentrating really, really hard on what you're saying.
Trying to look cool, trying to look cool in the crowd, trying to look cool in the crowd. Yeah, resting bitch face. You're so right. You're so right.
Of course, I've had stage fright and anxiety, and now I try to turn it around. Like, I get to do this. This is an honor. This is so exciting. Let's go melt some faces, and always pray, huddle up before a show, give thanks. Like, thank you for this opportunity, and let me just make these people happy and inspire them. And so, I think a little shift in your perspective goes a long way.
And I love, this is more like a comment, but I kind of am framing it as a question. A gentleman named John said, Dorothy is like a cat. I believe she has 9 lives and we've seen 3 of them. What do you think the other 6 are going to look like? And I thought, well, that's kind of a really interesting perspective. This is somebody who's like looking at you as like you just are going to keep going and keep going. So can you look ahead, as an artist? I mean, I know that you said, what, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. Or is it, this I would imagine is just a day-to-day, it's a process for you. It's an ever-changing part of your life.
It's gotten really fun. It's gotten really exciting. That's a very interesting perspective to have. That's a really interesting comparison. I have a cat. They're interesting. They're very, very interesting animals. But how many times can I say interesting in 1 minute? I think I've gotten to the point where I am along for the ride, and everyone has a purpose. Okay, everyone has a purpose. More will be revealed. Each album is an opportunity to discover more about life and about music and about each other. And I used to be so worried about, like, now I just trust myself. Like, it's become the first 2 was a lesson in trusting yourself, right? And I think each one is going to be an evolution. But like I said, I think I figured out the formula on how to trust and make sure it's good, and not let too many voices, drown out the true voice inside. And I think that's really cool that he recognizes and sees that there's this evolution each time around. It's really fun. It's exciting. It's exciting to change it up. It's exciting to grow as a human being, and to attach that to music is like, it's like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. And I do think it's going to keep going for quite a while.
And it's exciting for the fans too. It's so exciting for the fans. And I'm just so happy to be able to connect with you. When I saw we had new music, I was like, yes, this is great. This is just what the fans need and want right now. Gifts from the Holy Ghost is coming. We could get an EP before. What's coming to me is probably this week the most requested song on WDHA, a new DHA rock song. So
I just want to say to everyone that's listening and that is a listener at your station, that we can't wait to come back and see you and high five you and hug you and really connect with you guys. It's been too long, and just come see us. We're not afraid, and we're here to just keep making music, and whatever you're going through, you're going to get to the other side of that battle. I promise you.
Webster Hall is the place. Rival Sons, October 18th.
Sold out show.
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun. Such a fun show. And Dorothy, it is always awesome to see you. My lovely, beautiful, talented, golden-throated friend. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
You're too kind. I missed you so much. Thank you. This was really fun.
WDHA's Reconnect with Rockers is powered by Karis Lock Company, your full-service locksmith, and Dover Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on Route 46 in Rockaway. Online at doverdodge.com.